things that you were watching was the trade relations between the U.S. and China. And today we got some news on that front with President Trump saying that the U.S.-China relationship is severely damaged, to put it in his words. He also said that the phase 2 trade deal is not a priority. And it's interesting that we're seeing such significant gains on a day when something that we think would rattle investors doesn't seem to be doing so.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, how much of investors are looking at this as an actual threat. Because when you think about what's played out over the last several days, obviously there's been a lot of focus on TikTok and the national security issue. There was the FBI director coming out with some really blistering comments on China, talking about the threats, offering a point-by-point account of why China should be viewed with suspicion. And then you've got the president coming out talking about the phase 2 deal, potentially not necessarily at risk, but saying that, he may be not prioritizing that. I'm not sure that's entirely a surprise right now, just given that we are kind of at the start of this election cycle. There has been tension between the US and the Chinese, not necessarily related to trade, but as it relates to the virus. So it looks like, at least according to what we're seeing in the markets right now, investors are kind of looking at that as just more sort of rhetoric than action, but it is something to watch, because it's no coincidence. We have seen a consistent narrative of being tough on China this week, and when that happens, certainly it seems to suggest the administration is at least seeing some traction in that. Whether they actually take action on it is still a big question mark, I think.
Yeah, it is a huge question mark, and especially when it comes to the market, because like you said, it's probably not a huge surprise, these developments that we got today, but it certainly is on investors' radars when we take a more of a longer term approach here.
Hey investors, Zach